You got COVID. What's up with that? How'd that treat you?
It was
First
fun.
time?
Third time.
You've had it 3 times.
Yeah.
Have you really? You're good. I'm trying to get this off.
Oh, is this for me?
Yeah, it's you.
Oh,
Yeah, and then you talk into that.
all right, there we go. Hello. Do this.
First of all, it's good to see you.
You too, man. It's been a while.
Yeah. Nice shoes.
Pretty dirty, huh? The way you looked at that was so...
I never know to, like, obviously I'm hot in these fucking socks.
Yeah, right.
But, like, I'm not into, like, seeing feet on camera.
As opposed to
At least
people.
my own feet. But it's just, especially my feet, probably very unpleasant.
Right.
So, like, I always put on socks.
Do you think you have unpleasant feet?
I think in, like, 10 years, they're going to be repulsive.
Do you think?
I think they're serviceable
think they're
now.
aging faster than you're aging?
I think they're bad. I think they're just from wearing, like, basketball shoes all the time.
Yeah.
Like, my pinky toe is just, like, taking a hard left turn and a hard right turn. Just
Oh, shit.
inwards.
Yeah.
But I don't think I have, like, gross feet.
You're going to have, like, box feet, like those Asian women.
What's box feet?
They, like... So it was part of... I think it was, like, a custom that they used to do, I think, like, 100 years ago in China, where they put, like, women's feet into a box so that it crumpled them. And it was, like, a sign of dominance
Oh my God.
for other men. That's a thing.
Yeah, look at my wife's feet. Look how similar they are.
Yeah, exactly. They would just get all crumpled and they couldn't move. And then it was like, oh, the man has to move.
Yeah.
And the woman can't. Yeah. Imperial
Makes
China
sense.
or something like
Seems
that.
like pretty, like, last resort type thing for power. They like, ran out of fucking ideas.
Yeah, exactly. They were like going down the list. Like, what else
They
can we
tried
do?
their hands, and they were like, well, we need them to do things. So why don't we box their feet?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So COVID was all right to you this time?
Mm-hmm.
This time around?
Yeah, COVID was fine, honestly. I think this variant now is just... It's like an advanced cold.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's all it really is, you know? Because before, the first time I got it, that was like COVID. That was like I lost my sense of taste and smell.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I went through all of that. But again, like I had a mild fever and like a bit of a headache for like a day the first time I got it. Then the next day I was okay, but I just felt very like disoriented.
Yeah, like a
And
fog.
exactly,
like,
like
COVID
a
fog,
fog. It was so bizarre because you don't realize you're in it until you're out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like when you take advantage for like feeling good, and then
Yeah.
when you feel bad, you're like, I don't know what I was doing.
Right.
What was I doing before this?
Exactly. You're like, oh, this all made sense at this time, and then you stop doing that thing, and then you look back on it, and then you're like, why was I doing that
Yeah.
thing? You know, it's the same thing. So it was like it lasted for a day, and then I was disoriented, and I lost my sense of taste and smell, and it was on my birthday too.
Oh,
And like the classic thing for I think most people is they realize they lost their sense of taste and smell when they have their coffee in the morning. It's so weird. You take a drink, and it's like,
what is this?
yeah, what is this? It's like hot liquid, but you don't taste anything. You don't taste coffee. You don't smell coffee. And you're like, something feels really off here.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You know what I mean? So then
Yeah.
you're like testing more things around the house. You're like, I cannot taste or smell anything.
Which is like a gross thing. Like you realize, like,
Yeah. Oh, it's neurological. It's like happening up here. It's not like
yeah,
just like your synapses that are like in your nose.
yeah. We got it in January, and I had like every symptom except for the taste thing.
Oh, really?
Which I was like, glass half full, like very thankful for.
Yeah.
Because we were in Hawaii when we got it, and like I got it, Andrea got it, like half my family got it, my grandma got it, we all fucking got it.
Wow.
We had it pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like fever, night sweats, like the whole
Damn.
deal
Yeah.
sucked. But didn't lose the taste, and I'm really glad for that because I've heard people like it still is not right.
I
Like,
know.
Is your
Long
taste
COVID.
still like
No. It went away after about
It's
a week
good.
and a half or so.
yeah?
The problem was it was on my birthday. So I had like
Were you
my
like-
birthday food.
Yeah.
You know, like this really good Mexican place. I was in the house, obviously.
Yeah.
But I couldn't taste any of it. I was just like
shit.
asking my friend, my former roommate, Zach. You remember Zach?
Yeah.
I was asking him what it tasted like.
Yeah.
If it was good. And he was like,
Describe
oh,
the
dude,
cheese, dude."
It's so good.
Yeah.
And I was just like eating it. And I was just like crunching on nothing.
It's gross.
I was like, it's just like And
Yeah.
it's an incredible torture, honestly.
What's up with the house? You're moving out of that place involuntarily?
We received a 60-day notice to quit because new owners bought the property.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was a huge bummer. Huge bummer because I was really looking forward to staying there for like another year, saving up and then buying a house or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
But kicked us out.
That sucks.
Yeah,
And
it really sucks. And it was really quick too, you know what I mean? Because it was like they bought it and then like 2 weeks later, you know, we got a knock on our door at like 10 o'clock at night. Actually, not even a knock. I'm sorry. My buddy came over at night and then he was like, oh, this thing was on your front doorstep. And I was like, what is that? And it had like our address, our name, and it was like a yellow manila envelope, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? And then we opened it. I was like, oh my God. It's an eviction notice, but it's not an eviction notice. It's a 60-day notice to quit. So it's not like going to go on your personal record, but still it's like, get the fuck out in 60 days.
It seems like there's all sort of like weird real estate like loopholes. It seems like this is a loophole that shouldn't be allowed. Like someone shouldn't be allowed to just buy a property and then kick you out in 2 months.
Well, so there's just cause. So you have certain causes that are justifiable, essentially. And one of them is if you buy a property, you can move your family members into the property. But you have to give prior notice and long enough time to kick somebody out.
Wow. And that was the just cause.
That's a just cause. Yeah. So she's moving her kids into there. And now she's just kicked out because remember we had a duplex, right? Remember Joe and Christy, they live like right next door.
I guess I didn't put together that it was like one house, but
it doesn't surprise me.
Oh, sorry.
But no, they just got their eviction notice like a week ago.
Oh, the other side.
Yeah.
That sucks because you liked living down there, right?
Loved it. Downtown, dude, I was paying nothing for like, I mean, it was built in the 1880s, this place we were living in, but it was so cool.
Yeah.
It was such a vibe in there, 2 stories, like fun as hell, right in a prime location, close to work, all of it, you know? So I'm trying to move back down to like Midtown or something, but I love that spot. It's my favorite spot I've ever lived.
Yeah, it seemed very you.
Yeah.
Like when I would go down to...
Describe.
Yeah. Next 30 minutes, describe what that means.
Yeah, so the pink.
Yeah. Like when I would come down and hang out, it's like, this is cool. This is like not my vibe. I'm not...
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm just more of a hang out inside. I'm not like a go out and do stuff. And you seem like you're very go out and do stuff.
Well, I'm single and you're not.
Oh, that's true.
That's the biggest thing.
That's true.
I think. Is that, I mean, there are some friends that I have, because I have a lot of friends. There are some friends that I have that like are in a relationship, but they also like to go out as well, you know, and get, you know, riggedy wrecked. Yeah. But like,
I don't like
the common denominator. Yeah. The common denominator is definitely like being single.
Yeah. We took a edible on Friday night.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, you did.
Yes, I did. I don't know how.
And this is a new thing that we started doing, like very new. And so we took one like little gummy and it was like 10 milligrams. And I don't know really anything about the milligrams. And of course it happened, right? I took one and then I was feeling it and she wasn't. And then, well, like, let's do another one. I was like, I don't need another one. Why don't we do another half? And then that just put me over the top. And it was like, now I'm too stoned. Like, now this isn't fun. Dude. It honestly wasn't that fun. I'm like, give me half of one next time.
No, I don't understand why the whole idea of the marijuana industry is like, let's get this fucker blitzed out of his mind off a little Tic Tac edible.
Fuck, dude.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like you just drop
so
this thing and all of a sudden it's like, okay, this is like heroin.
Yeah.
Like it's like...
To a person like me who doesn't do it at all.
Yeah.
I eat 1.5 of these things and I'm zonked. I'm like walking like an old lady because I'm shaking.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't pay attention to
anything. You're having a panic attack.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like in the shower splashing water in your face like, I'm alive, I'm here, we're good. It's like, where is the fun in that?
It's not fun.
No, it's like you need to make some fucking consume, like
Let's
something.
Get this guy wrapped.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. It's like, oh, dude, this is like 45% THC. It's like, okay, maybe I don't want that. Maybe actually most people don't want that.
Yeah, that was what I was trying to do. I was just trying to like chill out, especially because it's a Friday. It's like we just worked. We went on a walk, and I'm like, the evening's gone. Like we don't have to do anything. Like let's just hang out, and then we did it, and then Yeah, I blame her though. She was like, "Well, I'm not feeling it. Let's do another one." I'm like,
Oh, really?
"Yeah." I'm like, "Well, I ain't no fucking bitch."
Yeah, that is.
Can't let my lady fucking size me up over here. Like,
No. You can't lose out to your lady.
You're a bitch.
Right.
That's what she said to me.
That's what she said?
Yeah, she's like, "You're a fucking bitch."
Dude, the Me Too movement is alive and well.
And I couldn't fucking say anything.
Right, because it's Me Too.
Straight white male. If I say anything,
Right.
I'm fucking on the streets. Dude.
Exactly, dude.
I'm getting
It's that
a
quick.
4-hour quit notice. Dude.
Exactly.
You get your shit out of here. You fucking said something wrong to me.
A 4-hour
Yeah.
notice to quit.
Yeah, in the mail.
She puts it. Yeah, she walks outside, puts it in the mail, and then asks you, "Have you checked on the mail?"
Have you checked the mail? Fuck.
That's good. That's funny.
Have you seen the new Batman?
Yes, I have.
I just watched it yesterday. Well, I watched the first 40 minutes, baked out of my
It is-
fucking mind, and then I watched the second,
Yeah.
7 hours of the installment.
It is long.
Very long.
How long does it clock in?
2 hours and 59 minutes.
No.
Yeah, that's what it says. on
It goes
HBO
to
Max.
59.
It says 59.
That's-
I'm sure.
that's-
I'm sure credits.
Oh,
Let's be
that's
generous.
true.
Let's
That's
say
true.
245.
245.
245.
Okay, I was about to say that's petty if they just put it at 250.
But yeah, I talked about it with Sam this morning. We play basketball, and he's watched it a while ago. And it's very rare for me to get around like watching movies. I've been trying to watch more movies lately
Right,
because
right.
there's a shit ton of fucking awesome movies I just haven't seen.
Yeah.
And I know you're a movie guy, and it seemed very like dark, almost like overextended their welcome of like the dark feeling and like the Nirvana sad boy
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that?
I thought I liked the creative angle of it. Like I did, like talking about the sad boy thing, like the fact that he had the black mascara on underneath the mask, and when he took it off, he still had it, like looking like Gerard fucking Way from My Chemical Romance. You know what I mean? Like, but that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so they were also like appealing to that. I think that's in vogue right now. The 90s and that kind of feeling. So, I'm not as in touch with like that level of popular culture, which is like late teens, early 20s probably. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Right. Yeah. But for what they were going for, I thought it was executed pretty well. You know what I mean? And I thought that the darkness of it, Batman is dark.
Yeah.
It's really dark. It's always been, and that's why it's always been probably outside of the Avengers, which I cannot watch. I cannot watch it. I don't care. I can't find a reason to give a shit, But Batman, the reason why it's so good is because it's so dark. And that's why, like, DC, they fumble it every single time when they have these storylines and these plot lines that are so good because they're so dark. People want to see movies like that. Yeah. They really do. It's just that they don't know how to handle them, right? Except for Batman. They always nail Batman because they get these legacy directors to do so. Outside of, who did this one? I forgot. Something.
Don't know.
Yeah. But he like...
Who did the first Batmans?
Well...
Like Batman Begins.
Well, Tim Burton did some Batmans. With
like
Michael
old
Keaton.
ones.
Oh, the old ones. That was Adam West.
I'm talking like who did... that was Nolan. It's all the same,
Oh, you mean
right?
the Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Yeah. And like the other Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
That's Christopher Nolan.
That's Nolan.
And he's never made a bad movie in his life. It's kind of true.
I still haven't seen Interstellar.
Oh.
But it's on my list.
Have you seen The Prestige?
Oh, fuck yeah. That's Hugh Jackman.
Dude.
And, dude.
That movie is
I fucking love that movie.
Good. That's my favorite Christopher Nolan movie.
Have you seen Prisoner?
Yes.
With Hugh Jackman?
Okay,
Bro.
so that director directed Dune.
Oh, the show
Yeah.
on HBO. Or the movie.
The movie.
The
movie.
book.
The show, the movie, the book, the podcast.
Yes, he did all of them.
Yeah, no, Denis is probably the most prolific director of this past decade. He did Arrival. He did Prisoners. He did Enemy with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, Enemy's good. Fucking sick movie.
Great movie. Yeah. Dune, Sicario.
Was that a horror movie?
No, it's about like...
I'm thinking of Icarus.
Drug cartels.
Is Icarus a soccer movie?
Icarus is a Russian doping scandal. So like that documentary is great.
It's a documentary.
It's about...
I was way off.
Yeah, it's about the... Yeah, completely.
Is it a horror movie? Yeah, but like it's a documentary about soccer.
It's like a horror movie, but like if a horror movie was not a horror movie,
okay, got it.
That's what Icarus is like.
Yeah, great director. He's my favorite.
Yeah, he's so good.
I love the guy.
No, that Icarus was about like the doping like the Russian doping scandal, the guy like uncovered it through like his intention with making this documentary was not to cover a Russian doping scandal. It was uncovered
while he was doing it,
trying to understand, I think, higher performance athletes. And he was interviewing this Russian scientist about this. And this guy started to divulge this information about how endemic the Russian doping was. Every single Olympic athlete was doping in Russia.
Wow.
Every single one.
When? Like recently?
For decades.
Huh.
For decades.
And they were still able to compete and everything? Or
Yeah.
no?
They passed the tests. They got them to pass the tests and everything.
See, that's what I don't really get. All these weird rules about doping and shit, but yet there's still ways around it. So it's like, what's really the point? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's just the competitive advantage.
Like, in a perfect world, wouldn't I want all my athletes just fucking yanked out of their minds?
Absolutely.
Like, just running. It's like the fastest a person can run. It's like, I want to see how fucking fast they can actually run.
Absolutely.
Because, dude,
it's
it's not like you're getting like, yes, you're getting like an external drug, but isn't it just tapping into shit that's already in your body? It's sort of like a psychedelic, right?
Yeah,
Isn't it just like, I don't know the science behind it, but like, I don't know, in theory, like they're still doing it. I know it's like such a dumb,
it's like
way
that Bill Burr bit, right? Have you seen that? Where he's like, our roided out guy beat your roided out guy. Right?
Yeah.
It still makes sense.
Yeah, someone's still going to win or lose.
Yeah. The best era of baseball was when they were all in roids.
Fuck yeah. Baseball still sucks, but...
Baseball sucks. But I used to watch it, probably because my grandma watched it also. But like, dude, watching the Giants with Bonds. Dude, you ever watch Barry Bonds smack a ball? Oh my God.
It was like a toy.
Yeah, it was fucking insane.
Yeah.
And he was so roided out.
Did you watch...
when your head's swollen out, you don't work. There's no muscle. There's no exercise that you're doing to make your head bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you watch that? I think it was a 30 for 30, like Mark versus Sammy Sosa, McGuire versus Sosa.
McGuire versus Sosa.
That thing, and all those like old clips. I mean, of Mark McGuire, like the dude was fucking roided out of his goddamn mind, bro. Like you watch him, just like, you know, the stills of him like swinging a bat, and his fucking like forearms are the size of like my thighs, and they're just fucking huge. Like, how is this guy?
Sosa, Giambi. Jason Giambi, Bonds, McGuire. That was the best era of baseball for sure. But we should go back to Batman.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. I thought that like he definitely was like, it wasn't a unique vision, I would say. Like he definitely was pulling overtly from movies that he wanted to like put into like the minutia or like the fucking mix of the movie that ended up being Batman. You know what I mean? Like it was overt. It was like, yeah, I've watched David Fincher's Seven like 50 times.
Sick movie, yeah.
Sick movie. I'm going to like, I watched it like 50 times. I'm going to recreate this in Batman. And it's like, oh, I watched Taxi Driver. I watched China. I like watched these classic movies that are like these kind
It's just
of
in his like DNA in the movie.
But it was overt. But I still like that because I thought that it was, I don't know. I think the Batman storyline is interesting.
I think it is too, and I think it's at least I'm most excited when a new Batman movie comes out. Like of all the Spider-Mans aren't bad. I don't love Tom Holland.
I don't know.
But I did like Andrew Garfield in those Spider-Mans, and obviously Tobey Maguire was like OG, but of like Batman they've done the best with. So it's like from a pure entertainment standpoint, like I was entertained. It was really fucking long. And there was some stuff that I didn't care for, but like it's another Batman. Like
and Robert Pattinson, it's so interesting how they just tapped him to be like the guy. Like he's kind of like the guy now, right? It's like he's gonna be in all these movies now, and he's
all
like,
of a sudden,
They just kind of, it's like Hollywood kind of decided. You know what I mean? They were like, it's so funny how these actors and actresses take these kinds of routes where it's like they get popular in like their early, mid, maybe later 20s or something, right? Then they go on this route where they do all these indie movies.
Yeah, like trying to be like trying to find themselves or show like I'm not just a vampire, or a werewolf or whatever. The
in
fuck
Robert Pattinson's case, yeah,
yeah,
you know, and then it like comes back around where it's like, okay, let's see if they can start becoming that big blockbuster Hollywood actor.
Like all the fans of the movies are now like
Right.
grown up, right? It's been 8 years or 10 years or whatever, and you've kind of grown up out of that, and you want to see Robert Pattinson in this case, or whoever other actor we're talking about.
I think a great example is Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling did The Notebook, got huge, right? He was with Rachel McAdams, and then you didn't hear about him. He was like this indie kind of actor that was good, you know, and he did all like Lars and the Real Girl, like all these different movies that were like very under the radar, indie studio developed. And then it was like, oh, Ryan Gosling's a dude. Ryan Gosling's a dude. And it was like the narrative was moving away from what he was actually doing. And it almost like forced him into the position that he is now. And I think it probably started with, you ever see Drive?
Yeah.
Awesome movie. That was like,
That's Ryan Gosling?
that's Ryan Gosling. Yeah.
Why do I get him and Jake Gyllenhaal confused?
Yeah, they're both really good.
I think I like Jake Gyllenhaal a little bit better.
Yeah, I'd say
like his movies.
He's a better
acting a little
actor.
bit better. Yeah.
He's a better actor. I think he's a more diverse actor too. But yeah, Gosling, once he got Drive, like it was just kind of like a steady incline, you know what I mean, to being like this household name.
Yeah.
You know?
But it was definitely The Notebook for him. Like you think of Ryan Gosling,
right?
you think of Notebook.
And it's usually what happens though is that the actors or actresses, they get very famous young, like younger. And then they see that fame, then they go, no, I want to go back inside.
Yeah.
Right.
You're still, I mean, you're not even
Yeah, you don't
like
know
a grown
you don't know
adult,
yourself.
really, when you're
Yeah,
doing
so
these
it's not
movies,
like
you know?
banger after banger after banger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or maybe the indie movies are good, right? But like yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting process as to why it happens like that so often.
Yeah. I guess one thing about the Batman that I didn't love was he is a cop. He was like working with the cops like the entire movie, and I'm
Yeah.
like, did he clock in today? Is he like, is he on their pay? Aha! Such a dickhead laugh. But like every scene, it was like him and the cops, him and the cops, him and Gordon, and Gordon's fine, but
Yep.
it's like. He's at the crime scene,
Yeah.
like with the other cops, and they're all just standing there. Like, I mean, it's kind of he's too now like ingratiated in the world. I liked it.
Sure.
I think I liked it better when it was like he was coming out and doing shit.
More Alfred.
Yes, like more on his own.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't know how to fucking write a goddamn movie, so I don't know what I would have done different. But just from watching it, it was like this. It just doesn't feel authentic Batman in the fact that he's like working with the cops the entire time,
Right.
And also. Whitney Cummings said this on her podcast. I don't know if you, whatever, but she,
I know her. I never listened to her podcast before.
fucking hilarious. And she was like, I watched the Batman movie and his house looked like he's fucking Lemony Snicket. And I could not unsee it the entire
is so
fucking movie.
true.
And then it like hits home. He like drives up in like this old ass car. I mean, it's a cool old car. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, what era am I watching? Like, I
Yeah.
really actually don't know. And then there's
Right.
like other cars from like,
They really leaned into
really,
that
again,
thing.
they really leaned it. Yeah. It's
that sad boy, like gothic look.
yeah.
You
And his
know?
hair too. I didn't love the hair, like sweeping thing. Like,
No.
isn't that weird?
It's a certain vein of Batman.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it is exactly. I'm not entirely
Yeah.
sure, but I don't know. I thought it was cool. I dug it
I'm
enough.
with you. I'm
you know
with
what
you.
I mean? Like I don't.
I've seen worse fucking movies. That's
Oh my
for sure.
god, that is for sure. Jesus Christ. I mean, nearly every Marvel movie. The first Iron Man was sick.
I remember liking the first Iron Man.
So good, really good. God, I don't know, man. I just can't do the Marvel shit. I really can't.
I can't either.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam and I talk about this all the time on here. Like,
Yeah, I'm marveled out, and I was hardly even marveled in.
it's
You know what I mean?
like even if somebody was like, okay, watch these two movies, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even. I've seen all of them on my phone on social media. Like, I know how they all end.
That's the thing.
Like-
every single one can be anticipated. Every single one. You know exactly how it's going to go. That's what's not interesting about them. They never challenge anything. They're not trying to. They're trying to make money.
And there's no. What's
No.
the plot? The bad guy is here.
Yeah, it's always these very uncreative plots. It's like, this guy's a bigger bad guy. This guy can put a portal in the sky and bring up his army from...
But where was he the first three movies?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, no, he was lying.
he
was lying in wait.
He was dormant.
Yeah, exactly. He's
fucking worst villain ever.
He's been awakened.
Yeah.
fuck
Do you watch Stranger Things?
I watched the first season.
You watched the first season?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I won't spoil anything for
Yeah,
anybody
I need to
because
watch it. I know I do.
The newest season is like very much the uncreative like villain storyline where it's like, oh my god, I've suspended belief this entire series of like all this weird shit that's happening. You kind of whatever, and then like, oh well, the villain is back and he's more powerful, and every time you killed him before, it didn't actually kill him. He just got. I'm like, oh my god,
it's so uncreative.
Please,
it
like,
really is so uncreative.
Fucking spare me.
Yeah.
And it's like their budget has like clearly gotten bigger since the first season, like incremental.
Did you hear what their budget was per episode?
No.
60 million.
Oh my god.
60 million.
Well, it makes sense. It is,
dude. Netflix put all their eggs into that fucking basket because they're losing the streaming wars right now.
It's very shiny. Like watching it is like the scenes are over the top, like over the fucking top. Like, I mean, their scenes are like in Russia crashing planes. Like, dude, there's like
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's like all sorts of shit going on. There's literally like 4 different storylines going on, like all in separate directions, and it's like bam, bam, bam. So they were like, "Hey, we got 60. What would you say? $60 million
$60 million per.
Fuck, man!
Episode.
Like, we're just gonna make it as big and badass as possible, which I don't think makes shit better.
No, it doesn't.
It just is like
it doesn't. It's all about the writing.
Yeah,
it's always about the writing,
and it's a well written show.
Right.
Like
the first season was a classic.
The first season's awesome.
It's amazing,
and I don't know. I just don't. I think maybe that's not like our generation's show. Like maybe younger people like grew up with this and they grew up with these kids.
Right.
Like,
well, they're also, I think they're catering to the Marvel crowd.
You think so?
Like the whole idea of Marvel movies and like these superhero movies and why studios will fund them is because they already have a contingent of people that they know will show up. Because there's already been
money,
this. Yeah, it's already been a built up fan base. And it's like, oh, we're gonna be releasing this movie in 2 years. Oh, get excited, get excited, get excited. Then they release it, and it's like they know that people will show up. You know what I mean?
When are they? I mean, realistically, Marvel's never going to stop making movies, or Disney.
Well, so here's the thing: is that I think it's going to run out. Because,
you think so?
Yeah, because I think that they went through the Avengers, they went through Spider-Man and Thor and Ant-Man and all the ones Ant-Man, right? Yeah, all the ones that are like the marquee dudes. Then you're going to go real deep in the bag, and people aren't going to have as much familiarity with it. So it's just going to be like, well, it's a superhero movie. It's like, but I don't know that superhero, so I'm not going to take a chance on this.
Because there's all these like other spin-off shows from like superhero shit.
Yeah.
Right? I haven't seen any of them, but from people that watch that stuff say it's good, which I'm probably never going to get around to watching it. But
yeah, no. What were we talking about before, though?
We were still talking about Batman.
But
we're talking about Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, right, Stranger Things. Yeah, they're catering to the Marvel crowd essentially. They're being like, everybody loves Stranger Things. They have this huge reputation as one of the best shows, one of the best streaming shows.
Nostalgia boner for people that weren't even
boner.
alive in that era.
Right, exactly. It's like everybody loves a nostalgic show that nails the vibe of the nostalgia. Right,
And they definitely do.
And they totally do. But now they're like, well, we have this reputation now, and we have this contingent of people that we can rely on to watch this. What if we just make it like a Marvel movie? I've never watched it, but from what you're telling me, $60 million for a fucking episode of television is insane.
That's a lot.
That's $60 million. What are you banking on? Think about that. You're banking on having the returns of $60 million per episode. How many episodes are there in this series?
In the series or in the season?
In the season.
In the season? Well, they're doing like the part 1 of season 4,
so there you go.
part 2.
They're just trying to
they
spread
got
it out.
7.
Yeah.
7 out of this one, and then
yeah,
they did the same thing with Ozark. The part did you finish? You finished Ozark?
I didn't finish Ozark.
You didn't finish Ozark?
Uh-uh.
Do you like it? Do you like that show?
I do.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Did it get worse?
No.
It still keeps up.
It's still pretty good. Like, it's really hard because the last time that the series closed, or that the like season 3 was over, it's like a year and a half, and then it's like previously on Ozark, and your mind's just reaching deep for like, what is that?
What?
Oh, I remember. And then on top of the new storyline, so you're like trying to remember all these other characters, and like some stuff's like, I don't remember the point of this.
Right.
It's like some stuff's kind of reachy, but I love Jason Bateman, so
he's so good.
I'm not gonna hate on anything he really does.
Dude, he's so good.
Yeah.
What a talent. It's kind of funny though, because like if you think about Jason Bateman, he is never like the guy with the jokes. Like in the comedies that he's played, he's always been kind of the straight man.
Yeah, that's true. He plays a
And
great
so that's
straight
why
man.
he plays a great straight man in Arrested Development. He's the straight man. He's the anchor. Everybody else is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Then you realize that he's a narcissist also.
But like him being the straight man, like is funny.
Is funny, but that's what he is. And so it's like he's a comedian. Like he's not a comedian. He's a comedic actor, and he's also this dramatic actor. But really, he's the same actor.
Yeah. It's the
Just
same.
a different context.
He does get away with like basically being the same person in like every show or everything that he does.
Yeah.
But he's great.
Oh,
like,
he's so good.
He plays like a super relatable like dad, like very grounded
Absolutely.
dad. Get some more coffee.
Very grounded dad. Yeah.
So what else you got, man? What else you been up to? You got kicked out of your fucking house.
Yeah,
you got COVID.
kicked out of the house. Yep, got COVID. Working on a business actually.
Enlighten me.
Yeah, so we're making a
Fucking pyramid scheme. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're like here to sell me.
yeah. So pretty much we have these knives that we're gonna sell door to door.
Yep. No, but they're like the best.
Yeah, and you're like no,
No.
no. We get that all the time. It's not Cutco.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. I keep having people on here that just want to fucking sell me knives.
It's not Cutco.
Okay, I'm done with the jokes.
Yeah, we're done.
Sorry, I'm trying to fix this. This is like a really loose connection mine does. I picked it on purpose because it's shitty.
Oh, thank you.
Business.
So we are starting a business, and we actually have an investor meeting next week. We're meeting with an investor. Pretty wild. So we started this business like 2.5 months ago. Actually, that sprouts from the game. So we made this video game called The Lost and the Wicked, and I wrote the story with my buddy Zach, and then he wrote the music, and then our other buddy Isaac was the head developer, and he developed all the graphics and everything, and we constructed this story, released it on Steam. We're actually getting it licensed out to a publisher. We're actually signing with a publisher.
Wow.
So they're going to get it on like Xbox and
Oh shit.
PS Marketplace and
Damn.
Nintendo Switch. I always say Wii every time.
That's all right.
Yeah. Same difference.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But we used this unique like angle of marketing when it came to the game, and we made this strain of weed.
Oh, great. Comes back to weed.
It always
right up
comes
my
back
alley,
to
dude.
weed.
I'm a huge fucking
Yeah.
weedy, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Weedy. That's what
You're
they're
a big.
called. I'm a big weeder.
You're a
dude.
big weeder.
Fucking weeder.
You're a weeder.
So you got a strand of weed for your video game?
Yeah, we made a strain of weed for a video game, and we partnered with North Country Farms, and it's actually like their most or second most highest selling product that they have. So it's doing really good, and so it got us thinking about this idea of like, maybe there's something here. So I can't give all the details, but I can do it off. I'll do it off here. Yeah. It's called Buddy.
Cool.
Yeah, and so it's
That's
gonna
awesome,
be
man.
yeah, it's gonna be in the video game weed vein.
Market.
Yeah.
Dope.
So we're pretty excited.
Was your marketing like? Do you have like any say
Stop
on like
talking.
this? Oh, sorry. This is too much. Shut your mouth.
Enough. Go ahead.
Do you have like or is it just like a marketing thing, or just like a partnership purely, or do you have like a say in what your shit is, like the kind of weed it is?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay, it's not just like, hey, here's like a cool logo. You want to put this on a little?
No. It's a lot more than that.
Okay.
It's like it's a partnership.
Got it.
It's a partnership. I think once we have the idea more formulated and everything, and we have a website kicking, and we'll see how it goes with these people that we're going to talk to. Then we can start spreading it pretty much and being like, yeah, this is our idea. But
Have you
IP?
How's the Steam thing?
It's okay.
Yeah?
We're doing okay on sales.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but I mean, it's pretty cool that this publishing house wants to publish our game. They want to take license of it and essentially just
Wow.
279 area code.
Definitely.
What is that?
Scam, dude.
Gotta be.
That's
Should I answer it?
That's your knife salesman.
Should I answer it?
I don't care.
Hello?
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 Hi, good afternoon, boss.
I'm okay, man. Thank you very much.
No worries. You take it easy, boss.
Okay, thanks, boss.
Dude, that guy was a fucking pushover, bro.
He called me boss like 6 times.
Boss, hey, boss.
I didn't know how to take that. He was like, "We're a National Research Center boss." I'm like,
Like, boss.
"Boss?
Boss.
National Research Center boss?" Like,
What do you research?
I don't know.
Just things.
Sacramento something?
So you wrote the game.
Yeah, wrote the game. It's like like a script, like a movie script.
Yeah?
But for a game.
Do you guys have other...
You've heard of movies, right?
Yeah. I've seen... I only watch Avengers, so like...
Yeah, right.
I'm really only
so you
fans
haven't
of
seen
real
movies.
cinematic
Right, yeah.
excellence.
Exactly, yeah. It sounds like it.
Yeah. I don't... How do you make a game? Like, let's get into the weeds here.
Sure.
You said the person, like a lead developer person.
Yep.
That the person that like designed the game, like made the whole walking around and maneuvering shit.
Yep.
Is it really as like boots on the ground of like coding? Is it really like that, or are
Yeah.
there like websites? You know how like Wix, for instance,
Yep.
like can make you a website. Like,
Right.
are there apps and programs where you can go in and make a game? Or is it like no? You have to find somebody.
You have to program it.
Like it's not.
You can use Game Maker, and I think that it kind of holds your hand a bit, but you also have to know how to program.
You got to
it.
know what you're doing.
Because you have the movement of the figures and the enemies that you're going to put in there, and when you trigger something in the game, right? That's all the program itself. So how would you trigger like the timing of it? Essentially, it's like, well, I would have this duration here, like logic, let's say. It's like, yeah, but you're creating a source code for the game itself. So the code for the game exists only unto the game.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. It took us 1.5 years to make this game. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so not like good at understanding that shit. Like,
Yeah. It's weird to think about. I mean, it's like, how do you make a video game essentially? And then you realize, oh, people make games all the time.
all the time.
There's games. I mean, the market for games, like video games, is insane.
Yeah.
It's like worth, I think, $500 billion.
Really?
$500 billion. It's steadily growing too.
Do you think this metaverse shit actually has any like ground?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think what always happens is when an idea that's like that outlandish is initially released, everyone's like, oh, what are you talking about? And then slowly but surely, once that wears off,
Somebody figures it out.
somebody figures it
figures
out,
it out.
or it becomes in vogue,
Yeah.
because then it's like, oh, I can do this thing here. It's just a matter of like people starting to use it and then telling people about it.
I guess.
Because like Mark Zuckerberg doesn't have the best, how would you put it, reputation, I guess, in the public eye. So once he releases something or Facebook does something, it's like, oh, this fucker again.
True.
But once he gets away from it and it's just the metaverse and like people start using it
Yeah.
because of the
that's
time
true.
and the ability that it has, the ability will always win out overall.
But what is the ability?
I don't really know much about the metaverse. All I know is that it's like a virtual world. Right?
And the only way to get into the metaverse is to wear
You have to wear the Oculus thing.
the things.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I don't know. Like, I agree with you. I think it will catch on. I don't see I've never done virtual reality on Oculus. I've never done it. Like,
Right.
what's for me
Right. Well, so what
to do it?
Right.
Like, I'm not playing Roblox. I don't need to like hold out to play Roblox.
Yeah.
on-
Well, I think that what those companies do is essentially when they pitch, they go like, well, you're sitting there and you're having a fine time, let's say, but imagine what your life could be if you had this instead. Imagine how much better your life could be, or you could solve this problem of boredom, let's say. It's always like this efficiency idea. It's like you can make your life more efficient and you can never be bored. That's all apps are essentially trying to solve.
Do you think that we're even capable of being bored anymore?
No. I think that's a great point. That is a great point because that's why you don't have very many creative young people anymore. I think
Because they're not bored.
they're not bored. They're never bored. They're thinking way too much about whatever the fuck is going on here. They're never having time to think about themselves. Not think about themselves, but think, like, because, you know, there's like this Russian, gonna go real deep here.
Let's do it.
There's like this Russian, like my favorite writer, Dostoevsky, he wrote this phrase that I read when I was like in my late teens, and it's always been my favorite phrase. And I think it's the most applicable thing possible to humans. And it's that consciousness is born of struggle. So when you struggle, it forces you to become conscious, right? And what I mean by that is like you don't live in your world anymore. Like you realize all the things around you because you have to in order to get away from that struggle, in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it builds this kind of understanding. And like with boredom, it's the same idea. You know what I mean? It's like boredom is kind of a struggle with time, you know, where it's like I have nothing to do and I can't do anything, you know? So what happens? Creativity. You start to be more creative. You go, well, how am I going to fit my time now? How am I going to fill my time? You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, now it's this.
Now it's,
before it was like, well, I don't know, I could
throw sticks at a wall.
throw sticks at a wall. Yeah, exactly. It's shit like that. But everybody's, you know, that might be one person, but then another person's like, well, I'm gonna, I don't know, there's this piece of rope here, and you know,
You figure, yeah.
yeah, there's a
Entertain yourself.
stick and there's a rock. Like I'm gonna make a slingshot or something, you know. And so you don't have that like there's something really innately human to that. I think being creative like that and like creating something, you know, like not everybody's creative, but that doesn't mean that creating something is not vitally important to people. You know what I mean? Like just to see themselves in the world, in a sense, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I think I read a book called The Coddling of the American Mind.
Oh yeah, Jonathan Haidt.
Yeah. Have you read it?
I have not read it. I listened to his podcast.
Sweet.
I need to read it. I
Anyway,
know it's brilliant.
I read it, and it was one of the coolest books I've read.
Yeah.
And the one part in this book that always stuck out to me was talking about kids and their free play time.
Mm-hmm.
And how, like, structurally and socially,
Mm-hmm.
it's so important for kids to, like, have unsupervised playtime. And not like with any structure.
Yeah.
Not with like, hey, let's go play a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally taking kids and leaving them with other kids is like so important.
Oh yeah.
Because I think what you said is like, you're bored. You're going to come up with something. Like the kids out there aren't just going to sit there and look at each other or go on their phones because they're too young to have phones.
Yeah.
They're going to come up with something.
Right.
And
They're developing
that
their personalities.
has always stuck out to me because I'm like, God damn it, that's so true.
That's such a great point.
And so, and how coddled now, I'll do coddled in air quotes because I don't have kids, how coddled now
yeah.
kids are.
Yeah.
And how, like, crime is lower than it fucking was in the 70s. Like, ask your dad. How often was he outside? Probably every fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, walking home from school by himself. Like, the odds of getting kidnapped back then were, like, fucking 20,000 million times higher. I don't even fucking know. Like,
Yeah, that's
shit,
true.
shit
though,
like
yeah.
that doesn't happen anymore. And,
Yeah.
like, parents are afraid of that, which they should be. You shouldn't
Yeah.
be afraid for your kids. But,
Sure.
like, you have to let them go. Like, my parents let me just fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Same with mine.
And I'm not saying I'm like a fucking genius or anything, dude.
Right.
But we've all met kids that are like more sheltered or more helicopter parenty,
Yeah.
or like, oh yeah, that was the kid with his parents always in the classroom up until like 8th grade. Like we all had those kids in our school.
Yep. And the thing is that like when they're that sanitized, they don't build calluses. So then when they face something that they've
Yeah.
never experienced, they don't know how to react to it. So then they don't. So it's like the thing about it is that like the fear, like it's the same thing with like banning books or banning ideas or banning, you know, certain thoughts.
Yeah.
Right. Not talking about Nazis or all these different terrible atrocities that have happened over the years. And that like, if you've never heard about it, let's say, and then all of a sudden, like years, you've never heard about it. And then you hear about it one day. See, the thing is that you don't have that sort of buildup of understanding. So you're a pendulum at that point. You react, holy shit, right? And then you're like, I believe this.
Yeah.
Or you're like, no, I don't believe this whatsoever, and this is a terrible thing. But there's no in between.
There's no like balancing.
There's no
There's
balance.
no balance that's happened.
And
ever.
life is all about balance. It's all about the yin and the yang. And so when you have that sort of pendulum, and that's the way the political climate is, right? It's a fucking pendulum.
Yeah.
It needs to sit in the middle. It always needs to sit in the middle. And with kids, they need to be socialized with themselves because they need to find themselves. They need to have personalities. That creates unique ideas and unique thoughts and unique people is when they're alone or they're with other kids and they're socializing and they're figuring out,
like that kid acted weird. I don't know why.
That was weird.
That was a
Yeah,
bad kid.
exactly.
I don't, even like recognizing that, somebody else did something weird and how did that make me feel?
Yeah.
And you don't have a parent that's looking at you, right? You're having to sit there and feel your emotions by yourself.
Right.
Not that you're really even aware of it when you're that young, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it is super important.
Oh, it's so important. It's so important to understand how to socialize because, we're building these bubbles for kids. They live their lives. And you're talking about the callous. Like, you live in your bubble and, like, you face an opinion that you don't agree with, the fucking pendulum shows up again.
Yeah.
Overly emotional. Oh, my God, this is a terrible thing, blah, 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 all this and that. There's no nuance to anything.
Yeah.
Right? Because you live in your bubble. This is the way you think the world looks. The reality is you're wrong because the world is filled with a lot of things that want to hurt you and you're not going to agree with. That's the reality.
Yeah.
Like, you can play all the games that you want to move around that. It's still the reality. It's still the truth. You're going to struggle, right? You're going to face little things that you're going to struggle with. You're never going to be able to sanitize yourself to be able to get away from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you try and try and try, and you're going to get worse and worse and worse at dealing with that struggle.
Yeah, I think in the book they call it being anti-fragile. Like, don't be fragile. That's like the callback.
Yeah, no.
The whole book is
right.
I don't know if he says that on his podcast or not, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good book about that kind of stuff. And
Yeah, I need to read it.
it just makes you think. I have a little brother. He's 13, and I don't know how my parents have like gotten away with like him not sitting on the iPad forever. Like, he plays sports, he goes out with his friends, and I think they're conscious of it.
Yeah.
But like some families can't. Like some
Does he doesn't go on the iPad that much?
I think he's on it for like an hour a day or something like that, or an
Okay.
hour a day on the weekends or something, or maybe they have like some sort of clock on it, so he's not just sitting there like
Right.
on it for the whole time. And again, this comes back to the being bored part. Like,
Right.
you're right, kids are not fucking bored. They have
No.
a phone.
It's so
They have an
important.
iPad. It's like
Yeah.
they're bored. Let me turn on this thing.
Yeah.
And like, it's not allowing you to come up with something. It's like something's being thrown at
Yeah.
you and you're like reacting to something.
You to come up with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
exactly.
mean? It's like, and I fall prey to it.
Oh my-
Because
yeah,
dude,
all the time.
all of these platforms now have the same thing with TikTok. Flink, 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 flink.
Yep.
Watch this shit. Right?
Yeah. What's next?
What's
Yeah.
next?
Sit on
Exactly.
TikTok for like 30, 40 minutes.
And the algorithm is vicious. Right? Because it's like if you sit there and
it's
watch the
fucked.
video or for like 6 seconds, it's gonna be like, oh, you like that video? I'm just gonna shoot at you that exact kind of video
Yeah.
every second or third to be
Yeah.
sneaky. But really, I'm just shooting it at you because you seem to like this content.
Yeah. Dude,
And then it never like it's so fascinating because like I was reading this article about like why Slack, Slack,
yeah.
why Slack was more successful than all the other project management apps. Right? There were
Yeah.
all these other ones like To Do, and they all failed except for there's one other one I think I forgot exactly. Asana I know is one. But they were saying like, why is Slack like the medium? And I was reading this article and they were saying it's because you have to be on it constantly. So the idea is like you have a chat, you have a thread,
Okay.
right? And everybody's commenting on the thread, they're commenting about the project. But then somebody complained like, can I not like comment on a comment that was already higher up on the thread and then bring it back down and then we could talk about it? It's like, no, you have to be on Slack and respond in time.
Really?
So what it does, it forces you to be on it all the time because you can't miss out.
What's the point of that?
It's to keep you on it.
So you're saying I couldn't comment on I couldn't
You
like
could comment on it. Oh, that comment you put like higher up on the thread before, like Jenny, for example. Like, what were you talking about with that? Right? And then it's like, well, I don't remember because we were just talking about, there's been like a 12-minute conversation here that we've been going back and forth on this thread with like 12 other people.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
Okay. I don't think I get it. But
so like you have like say like we have a text message, right? We have like a conversation over text message, and we're texting back and forth for 12 minutes straight, 15 minutes, whatever the fuck.
Okay.
And then after those 12, 15 minutes, whatever, right? I say, oh, like from the first 2 minutes of our conversation, you brought up this topic, right? And I'm like, oh, what about that thing? And you go, I don't even remember. Right?
Okay.
I don't even remember like that thing that I mentioned to like 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
Right? So then it's like, okay, the only way for you,
If I log out, it's gone.
if you log out, it's gone, but it's also like the only way for you to respond back to that thing is if you're directly like in that moment when you're having that conversation about that thing in those first 2 minutes, you respond to it then.
Okay. That's kind of fun, I guess. It's like,
well, that's not, it's not even the addictive part. It's the necessary part. It's like, you have to be on this thing constantly,
weird.
you know, because the thread just goes off.
I'm pretty sure Slack like went bank or got bought out by another company because they weren't making any money.
No, I think they're really successful.
Really?
I think they made like $1 billion, or I think maybe they sold to somebody.
Maybe they sold. I'm definitely. I remember hearing that they sold because I think they were going to go public.
Yeah,
and then like that didn't happen. And
maybe they got bought out. I know they're really successful.
I've definitely heard of it, but
Yeah.
I've never had it. We use Microsoft Teams at work.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what you use at your work, but
We use Asana.
yeah. I find it annoying and clunky and tedious.
Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, it's like, and also they have it set
They're
up.
never perfect.
They have it fucking set up now where like, if I log, so I have like Microsoft Teams on my phone,
Yeah.
and then on my computer, and it's like if I log into one of the other things, it has to send like a authenticator notification to my personal phone. So I have to scan my fucking face saying like I authorize this login, and then it logs me in on here. And
What?
if I log it, it's like it's
stupid.
It's really really dumb.
That's stupid.
It's really dumb. And when I got a new phone, I had to like call the fucking help desk and be like, I got a new phone. I'm like, I'm just trying to check my fucking email, bro. Like, it's me. I'm putting in the password.
Right,
like, is my password like not fucking good enough?
Yeah. Dude, and also this thing as well, like the facial recognition thing.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting there like this. Trying to open my phone. You know? Yeah. I'm just like like that, you know, and it's just like
Set it to the back of your head, so you gotta, like-
yeah, I'm just like
Like, it's
Come
me.
on! Exactly. Oh baby.
I know, I've been sucking down this coffee.
Yeah. I think I sucked it down.
Suck something down?
Suck something down,
Yeah.
that's for sure. I sucked it down too quick to start.
Oh. You gotta pee? Are you good?
I just got a little jittery.
Okay.
I'm doing all good. I'm feeling better now. Got some more water in me.
Yeah.
But what's new with you, man? Let's see. You making music?
I have been.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Nice.
Actually, I got something I'll show you.
Hell yeah.
Kind of cool.
Cool.
It's like not that cool though. Like, don't-
It's not. Yeah.
it's-
When you said it's cool, I was thinking this is probably
like
not
this probably
very cool.
fucking sucks.
It's probably
super
so
lame.
stupid.
But yeah, I've been trying to, like, if I can lock myself in here for like 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. Come on.
Like I did yesterday.
Yeah.
I can usually come out with something or feel like I was creative and like where I'm not
Yeah.
not looking at my phone, like I'm actually doing something. And so that's cool, but like, God, I hate to be that person that's like, I don't have time. When
Yeah.
it's like, I'll
You don't
spend
have time.
3 hours watching a fucking Batman movie.
Yeah.
Stoned.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been trying, dude. It's just like the podcast. This is kind of like a lot of work, but I do enjoy it. My dad does a podcast too, so I help him with that. By help him, I mean I do everything for that.
Yeah.
Just like I do this, which is fine. but this just takes like a lot of time
Yeah.
to do. Because if we sit here and talk for 2 hours, then I have
To cut it up.
at minimum 2 hours of sitting there.
Really?
But
Listen
yeah.
to it, edit.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like actually making music and doing shit, like I really haven't been doing anything grand.
Yeah.
There's a guy I met through my work. He's a rapper, and he's like doing the grind of like being a musician. He works like part time at another job, and he like goes to different states and does stuff. And I'm like, fuck, man. Like I wish I was like kind of wish I was
that
doing
grind
that,
like
man.
that.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
it's just tough.
You know, it's hard.
Like, you know, I complain about my work a lot, but I have a good job with good benefits,
Yeah.
and pays my bills and then some. So it's like,
Right.
I just don't know when that moment of I'm going to take the plunge and do something that I like absolutely love.
Right.
Like, when is that moment going to happen? Because,
Well, yeah. It's about budgeting your time, probably.
yeah,
You know, and it's like you got to probably sacrifice a little bit.
I know. And there was a while there where I was like telling myself, okay, every day I got to do something for like a half hour, like a minimum half hour, and a half hour always turns into like an hour. Right. And even that was like fucking hard to like come home and sit on and like open my computer, plug my hard drive in and do something and feel like, but once I would like get into a rhythm, then I was
You're
like,
cool.
cool. I'm there, but then it just became work. And now I'm like, now I'm not even
That's-
having fun. Like now
that's-
I'm not having fun with it.
That's the hard part. That's the hard part. It's like it's how you frame it. It's how you think about it. It's like, oh, I'm gonna sit down and do this for 30 minutes a day. Then it becomes like a task.
Yes, it becomes like a, well, I told myself I'd do it, and I kind of want to just check the box, so I might as well just do it.
Exactly. And then it's just like you might be productive, but it's not as fun, you know? And it's like, it's harder that way.
Yeah.
You're making it harder. Like I do the same thing where I'm like, I want to write every day.
Yeah,
I don't write every day.
no.
I don't. I just like, I need to, you know, but it's like, there's something about like just being, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And therefore doing as opposed to like, I'm going to do.
Like with a purpose?
Yeah.
You're saying like, just do it just to do it.
Yeah.
Allow
exactly.
yourself to
as like
make
the
something
principle of it, or just like, oh yeah, no, I'm not going to not do this today. It's just like, you just have to like fucking do.
Be a doer.
Yeah. Be a doer.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It's like,
It's hard. It's hard.
it is, but it's, what path am I on that it's going to change?
Good question. I don't know.
Like, I don't know. Am I going to be slaving over a fucking podcast like another year from now where nothing's happening? I'm going to be keep fucking lying to myself like, oh, I enjoy it, when in the back of my mind I don't enjoy it, but like the boat's already fucking taken off on this. Like we're this will be our 100th episode actually.
Wow.
So,
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry Sam can't be here. He's a bitch.
Hey, bitch.
Don't talk about my
I don't
friend
know.
like that,
I don't know
dude.
him. I'm
Don't-
sorry.
Tone it back. I'm gonna have to cut that. That's the thing I cut.
I'm sorry, Sam. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But
Sam is a.
but I just don't know, man. It's like
Yeah,
I'm 28.
yeah.
I just round up and say I'm 30, and then I just get depressed. Depression.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, that's the thing about it is that like I've never really. There's always this idea that like being in your early 20s or whatever is like the best years of your life, and it's like I don't know, man. Like I like having responsibilities.
Yeah.
I like knowing things. You know, I like knowing more things, and it's also like relative to what should be your potential lifespan, which at our age, I mean, hopefully it's in our 90s, right?
Hopefully.
That would be something that would be the general range. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know, you can round up and play the numbers game all you want, but you got the opportunity, you got the time.
Yeah.
You could do it. You know, like I used to do that shit when I was like in the night drives, not really as much, but before that when I was in other bands and stuff, like I would be like, oh, I have to do this thing by the time I'm like 24 or 23. It's like, don't live your life like that.
Yeah.
Don't just do. Just like whatever age, whatever time you do it, just fucking do it. You know, like it's not, you're stressing yourself out and you're putting pressure, undue pressure, unnecessary pressure. You know what I mean? It's just like the thing about that, and I think that's also a product of the internet age. It's like you see all these people and you play this.
Yeah, comparing.
You play this comparative game, and it's
hard,
like,
man.
dude, you're not them and they're not you. You know, and it's like, I know it's simple and it's sugary, but it's true. And it's like you have your path and they had their path. You know, and it's like your life wouldn't be, maybe your life would be different, but you wouldn't be happier, probably. You know what I mean? Like maybe you would. I don't know. But I think everybody has their struggles that they go through, even when they were successful when they were like 22.
Yeah.
It's like you normalize success, you know? And so I think that like people, like they reach the pinnacle, then it's like, okay, what's the next thing? You know? And it's like that happiness starts to, not happiness, but just that meaning starts to like become a question again a little bit, you know? And so it's just a matter of, I don't know. I've always believed in like the product is the thing. Like the product, like the idea. Like I don't give a shit where you went to college. I don't give a fuck about any of that. What are you producing? What are you making? You know? And it's like, that's not the ultimate test of like a person. You don't have to be a creator or a maker, you know? But like, I think that achievement is like the idea itself. If somebody has a good idea, I don't think it's more justified if like they went to a certain college or they work a certain job. It's like if the grocery clerk has a better financial idea than the guy that works on Wall Street, he has a better idea.
Yeah.
Period. That's it. That's the reality. And I'm not going to give into the bells and whistles of like, oh, well, I have the suit and I work on it. I don't give a fuck. He has the better idea, you know? And so just produce.
Yeah.
You know, because I know that you want to produce. You want to make. You're creative.
I do. And I think I've been like trying to juggle this. Like, I like doing the podcast. Like, I like doing three things because I've already put myself in a fucking box. When I put myself in three little more boxes. Like, I like to do the podcast. I like to make music, and I like to take pictures with my drone.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can I do all three of these things? Feel like I'm proficient at all of them. Like I'm using my time wisely.
Yeah.
I fucking can't.
Yeah.
I can't. It's impossible.
It's hard.
Because even if I've done this, like, oh, well, treat it like a job and you'll have to do it. It's like, well, I'm not feeling like driving somewhere and going to take pictures right now. Why should I beat myself up about that? And then I do beat myself up about it because it's like, well, you said you do this. You said you like doing it, so go do it.
Yeah.
Stop being a pussy. Right. Like, do the shit you want to do.
Right.
Or same thing with making music, or same thing with, you know, doing the podcast. Like,
Sure.
I genuinely love doing this. I love talking to people. I love having a conversation.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not really feeling up to it, maybe.
Right.
You know, I don't know what that looks like. Like, what if I was doing this thing 3 days a week? Like, would I just be fucking over it? Like, what if I quit my job and I was like, I'm just going to be a full-time, not making any money podcaster? Like, would I be over it and be like, holy shit,
Right.
I don't love this as much as I thought I did. I like doing it once a week.
That's a good point.
So I don't know.
Right.
Like, that's the thing. But, like, when the fuck am I going to find out? Like,
You gotta
when am I going to find out?
You got to take a chance.
No, like, I don't want to. I don't love risk like that. I don't love
I don't think anybody.
the unknown.
Yeah. I think that is like, that's probably the ultimate deciding factor when it comes to like how people make decisions, right? Is risk. How much risk are they putting themselves in? You know, and like people that can't assess risk and they can't assess like the context of what they're getting into, maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a terrible thing, you know? But you can also calculate yourself out of risk in a way. You know what I mean? Where it's like, well, if I make this certain amount of money, or well, if I'm doing this well in 6 months, that's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's fine. I think it's about managing your expectations, really.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, I want to be Joe Rogan tomorrow, or in a year, or 10 years. It's like, well, you're not.
Yeah.
And it's not because Joe Rogan is this elite podcaster. It's because
he's you, or he's him.
He's the first to do it.
Yeah.
Like, he's the first to do it. He started the conversation. Yeah. Him and Bill Simmons right?
Yeah.
They started podcasting. They were the ones to do it. And it's not like they're the best podcasters in the world. They've just been doing it for so long that they have the largest fan base. Yeah. But you just take off little chunks.
I think me having you here is like part of that step.
Yeah,
of like,
sure.
Sam's not here. Like,
Right.
we're friends.
Right.
I think.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I think so. But like, what does this look like if I invited a stranger? Like, can I actually have a conversation with a total stranger and have a conversation like that? Like,
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I know there's only one way to find out, but like, do I even want to put myself through that awkwardness? Like, do I only want to have people, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff or shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, is that the goal, is to have just strangers on the podcast?
I don't know, but like, I love listening to podcasts where people like that are, you know, doctors or lawyers and stuff like that. And I'm not saying I have that kind of clout, but at some point it's like, yeah, it'd be cool to have like a doctor on here and talk about anything.
Yeah.
Like talk about whatever.
Right.
And,
Well, you got to start reaching out to people.
I know.
I
did.
did. Start doing. Yeah.
And then you said no because you're a fucking bitch. And then you came back. Well, no, you had COVID.
I had COVID.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, 'cause-
My immune system is a bitch.